Okay, hi everyone. It's me, Patrick. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to the NMaker live stream. It's actually NMaker's birthday today, or technically, because I'm in Japan and it's already 3 a.m., it was yesterday. And yeah, and today is actually my birthday. So we kind of have the same birthday, almost at least. NMaker's on the 11th and I am on the 12th. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. It's already 3 a.m. here in Japan, so my energy level is very low. As you can see, I'm in this like beautiful old Japanese building, and this is actually a tokenized building. This is actually part of the Re-Asset DAO, which is tokenizing old buildings in Japan and renovating them. And then if you buy some of the NFTs, you are basically one of the owners of this building, and you have actual like voting rights in the DAO and stuff like that. So it's quite exciting. It's a really cool project, and I've been staying here for like a week. So this is an actual NFT on Cardano, which is very cool. But yeah, that's kind of besides the point. I'm just blabbering a little bit. We're here to celebrate the NMaker birthday, and to do that, we have a few different things prepared. So basically, one of the things is basically just me sitting here talking about NMaker, talking about the past and the future and all that kind of stuff. I'm not really very prepared, but I have a few things to share with you. And then the second part is that we're going to watch a video. I actually haven't seen the video myself, but a lot of the NMaker team members have prepared a few snippets that I can show. The reason why we're not starting with this is because it's still processing, actually. So I have the video clip here in Restream, and it's still processing, and I basically have to talk until it's finished processed, and then I can show it to you. But it's almost done, so I'm confident we'll get there. Yeah, so let me begin maybe a little bit with history, right? So NMaker celebrates his 4th birthday today, which is an absolutely unbelievable number, and I cannot believe that it's been that long, first of all, but also that we, built this into a project that can survive for 4 years even, and not only survive but really thrive, and that so many people have been supporting us, and that we helped so many people, and that the team grew so much, and also like this excitement and passion that we have inside the team. I think it's truly, truly amazing. So I'm extremely humbled to be in this position. I'm in Japan in a tokenized house that I tokenized with my technology, basically, and I'm working with the most incredible team on the product and projects that I love working on, which is really, really hype. And I couldn't be more proud of that. And the reality is, I never had a full-time job or something like that. This is the first thing I did after university, right? So for you who don't know, NMaker started as a side project during basically me writing my thesis. I was just like, okay, NFTs on Cardano look cool, Spacebuds is there, and so on. Why not just make a website where you can mint NFTs yourself? And then I decided to just, do that and build it together with Fahim back in the days. And we launched it. We launched it, I think, like a week delayed or so. I wanted to launch it like really quickly, and then there was like a lot of delays, and then we launched it a week delayed, and we launched it on my birthday, actually the day before my birthday. And then there were so many like bugs in it that I never anticipated, and there were so many users like immediately that I spent all night just fixing those bugs. Like, for example, one of the bugs was like in the early days, we only had one wallet address, and we basically said, okay, you upload an image, and then we have to wait for your payment, and then once the payment gets done, then we use that money to like mint the NFT. And the way I did that was really stupid, because I just uploaded the image, I prepared it all in like a database and saved it and so on. And then I gave every single image that was uploaded a different number, right? So I gave like the first one who came the number 1, and then the second one I gave the number 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. So and then the way I mapped the payments on Cardano to the images was by basically saying, okay, if you want to mint the image with number 1, you have to send, I think it started with 10 ADA or so. Back then, ADA was pretty cheap. I think it was 10 cents or so. But it started with 10 ADA. And then I said, okay, you have to send 10 ADA plus 0.000001 to the address. And then if you do that, it's gonna see the like ending, and it's gonna map it to the NFT. And obviously people found that out because it like just counted up by 1 all the time. So they figured that out pretty quickly, and then they just randomly bought NFTs from other people and abused the system, which was very funny. And then yeah, and that kind of stuff, like really, that was really weird. So we had a lot of very funny bugs that I had to learn the hard way, and I fixed them all. I never expected that many people to use it. And then the next day, everyone was mad at me because I didn't get any sleep and couldn't really participate in my own birthday that much. But yeah, basically that's how it got started. And then you know, the Unsix came, and Alex Monad came and said, okay, do you want to, you know, help me launch this project? We were already friends before, so I knew him quite well, and he had this idea and he pitched it all to me. He held like a whole presentation about what he wants to like do and achieve. And then at the same time, the Hoskinsons came, so like this Simpsons style-ish NFT project that some of you might remember came. They said, okay, let's also launch a larger collection. So at the same time, both of these projects came and said, okay, look, Patrick, can you help us mint this? I was like, sure, but I also have to write my thesis, right? And I was very busy in university because I was like writing the thesis and I had to get ready. And then I basically, I was sitting in the office of my dad. I went to my dad and I was like, so Dad, I have the project, but I have no idea if we're gonna make money with it. I think we're probably not gonna make money with it. And can you help me? Because I have to write my thesis. And he was like, yeah, okay, sure, I'll help you. And then, you know, I taught him like the whole thing, like how to mint NFTs, how to set up a Cardano node in the first place. He's never done anything like that, right? So I taught him the whole process, and then I like taught him, okay, just write like a simple, you know, Python script to like do this minting and keep it very easy and simple while I continue writing my thesis. And then he started building out a whole interface for it, and he built out the first version of NMKR Studio basically. And I didn't really ask him to do that or so. He just did it, and then we used NMKR Studio, I think, for like 3 months or so. We used it just for the Unsix and the Hoskinsons, completely internally, which was pretty crazy because it was ready back then, but we just didn't launch it to the public yet. And we then at some point said, okay, like actually the plan was never to make NMKR Studio like the main product. The plan was always to build an NFT marketplace. That was what Fahim and I were working on, actually. We wanted to build an NFT marketplace. And that was like, remember, before, you know, CNFT.io or JPEG or any of those, before smart contracts even. And then my dad basically said, okay, you know, NMKR Studio is basically ready. Why don't you just launch it? And I thought it looked really ugly back then. It still kind of looks a bit ugly. It's very like techy, I would say, but it's an admin interface, so I guess it's fine. But yeah, we just launched it, and we didn't really expect many people to use it. And at the beginning, no one was using it actually, because the only way you could to use it was by using the API. So you had to upload everything through the API, and then you had to implement the API to accept payments. And there was no NMKR Pay. There was no like easy upload function or anything like that. So it was quite complicated to do it. And then we thought, okay, it's a total failure, and it's going to use it. And we waited a few weeks and so on. And then at some point, it started to kick in, and everyone started using it. And we started to see like so many projects. And I think we minted like 300,000 NFTs in 1 month or so. So it was crazy, and we scaled up, and we never expected it. And we said, okay, we're going to build this into a whole company and all this kind of stuff. And everyone suddenly like came and wanted to work with us, and we got completely overwhelmed, to be honest, with projects. Like I remember Monty actually was one of the first people. Monty from LCX, like the founder and CEO of LCX. I think he was one of the first people to reach out to me after NFT Maker version 1. And he like immediately was like, okay, do you want to launch a token and that kind of stuff. And he was very supportive, so that was quite interesting. And then Christian obviously came, and Ann-Christine, and like all these people, Phil and Ingo, and so on. So many people joined NMaker. It was really exciting. And then we, went and built it out into a company. I moved to Switzerland. We founded a company in Switzerland. We still tried to do the NFT marketplace, but we kind of failed pretty hard with that. And we tried a lot of things, failed with a lot of things. And in the end, basically turned it around, went through the whole crypto winter, almost didn't survive as a company, but basically turned it around and stabilized us, also with a lot of help through the like Cardano and the Catalyst community, especially. We got a really large grant from Catalyst when we needed it the most, which was amazing and truly a lifesaver. And now we're in the best position that we've ever been in, to be honest. Now we're like really doing well. We're focusing a little bit more on AI and agents and decentralization of agents. Not so much on NFTs anymore, but it's still very exciting. And I truly feel like this momentum is coming back to NMaker. And I have never felt this much passion before for what we are doing. So I'm extremely excited, and I'll talk about that later. But for now, because I've been talking so much, let's watch this video for a second, and then afterwards I'll continue talking for a few more minutes.
So NMaker turns 4th day, which in crypto is basically ancient. Like, if we were a token, we'd have survived at least 2 market cycles by now and at least 1 identity crisis. I've been here for almost 2 years, which means I've seen things, drops, launches, stress, DMs that are mostly in German, but that's okay. Because we've made NFTs easy. We've helped real businesses, we've tokenized real assets, and we still manage to act chill while building in a market that's basically emotional roulette. And while some people build for hype, NMaker builds infrastructure, because nothing says we're serious like launching multi-chain tools and still getting asked when moon. So happy birthday, NMaker. You're 4, you're stable, you're shipping, and honestly, that's more than I can say for the rest of the crypto space.
Hey everyone, I'm Flo, and first of all, happy birthday, NMaker. Yeah, my journey with NMaker actually started with Phil, as we know each other for a long time, and I think it was his enthusiasm, so to say, that got me curious and generally pulled me into the crypto space in 2020. And yeah, as I come from a complete different field, I was still working in my old job as a project manager for industrial machinery, but I was always curious and learning about blockchain and how it works. So in 2024, last year, I guess after Phil convinced Patrick to have more free time, I was offered to start at NMaker in part-time. And so I helped out Phil, I helped with customer support, documentation, the testing in NMaker Studio. And yeah, it was awesome from the beginning because I learned from really smart people. The team is super nice, everyone is helpful, shares insights, and they're always patient. And now, just recently in February, I was asked to start full-time, and it still feels right. NMaker is just great because it's a place where we grow together. I work on cool projects with amazing customers, AI tools, and I learn new insights, things, and skills every day. I like the small but tight team. We team up, share ideas, and we make each other better. It's so creative, and everyone's ideas matter. And yeah, not to forget our amazing founders who make all that possible. NMaker turns 4 already, and it's still growing. I'm super proud to be with NMaker and so pumped what's coming. NMaker makes blockchain simpler for everyone and helps people and businesses to understand and use blockchain and bring them to Cardano, which I'm all about. And it feels big, and it feels even bigger when I think about the future. So again, happy birthday, NMaker. We keep going.
Hey everyone, and happy birthday, NMaker! So, my journey with NMaker actually started almost exactly 3.5 years ago. Back then, I was a one-man company in e-commerce, and I always was interested in crypto and blockchain and the technology. I was invested like some time before, and I always was looking for some way to contribute to Cardano, and yeah, I started following NFT Maker back then, and Patrick Tobler, and NFT Maker version 1 launched, and I'm also like a hobby photographer, so I was looking into minting some NFTs, more like for my own. Um, yeah, and then I checked out NFT Maker Pro and was quite happy with that. Reached out to the support and stuff, and yeah, and get in contact with Patrick actually. And then one day Patrick was looking for somebody in a post on Twitter, and I just applied with a 8-bit Mario styled NFT, and I minted it with I think it was version 1, not sure because it was just handy. And yeah, and well, this was my application, and somehow convinced Patrick to get me on a call, and we directly vibed, and it was just great. So I started like in part-time, a few hours in the week, and was doing like support. For me, it was very important, like not really what I was doing, just so I can contribute. But that I was able to learn a lot, and this was quite important for me. But Patrick told me, yes, that's the right place, and it exactly was, because yeah, 3.5 years ago, I was not into this tech stuff at all. I mean, I was a bit into web development, and but yeah, very amateurish, and now I'm looking into or I'm working with APIs and coding. I'm using actually the Cardano blockchain, which I never thought would be happen, because I was not a developer back then. And yeah, so from this perspective, I'm super happy. I learned a lot. I didn't learn such huge amount of skills, actually true skills, um, in the time when I was working like in corporate companies, and um, yeah, it feels really good to work also in this like startup niche, and see things growing and evolving. So I'm really happy with that. And also, if you look at things what we experienced the last years, I mean, we had an ultra long bear market. It's kind of horrible. So many projects left and right were just dying, and yeah, and we just kept building and kept trying, kept failing, and tried again, failed again, and tried again, and it was just so much fun. And uh, yeah, 3.5 years of blood, sweat, and tears, but so much joy. And it was definitely one of the best decisions of the last years I made to go to NMaker. And I'm actually looking forward to work a quite long time for NMKR, and yeah, I'm following Patrick. I trust him in his visions, and it's just great to see all the things evolving. And he has this certain skill to get the right people together to get things going, and um, yeah, and also to always find a way. I myself would say I'm kind of a problem solver, and I see this a lot in Patrick, and yeah, it just vibes. So I'm very, very thankful for everything we did the last years, and also the team that we built the last years. We had a bigger team um, before, or like in the bull run, and then during the bear market we had to scale down a lot. This was very, very painful, and yeah, but the core team, we grew together and we stand together, and we worked very, very hard to get back on track, and now we're scaling up again with a beautiful team, with beautiful people, and yeah, so much joy, and yeah, a great environment to just grow for yourself. So I'm super, super happy, and I'm looking forward to everything that comes. I think we're on the right track also with Masumi. That's a great new endeavor, and I just enjoy it. I'm super grateful, and thanks for checking in. Have a great one. Bye bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Shivangi and I'm working as a Webflow developer at NMKR, and I'm super happy to be here to celebrate, and I wish a very, very happy birthday and a year filled with lot of growth and success ahead. I have been part of this super cool and amazing team from a year now, and it's been really exciting and rewarding journey for me. I have got some really exciting projects to work on, to be part of, and to improve my skills, to learn a lot of things, and uh, to build better, to think better, and what I see myself now is much improved version of myself and much confident version of myself to what I was back 1 year. And all thanks to NMKR team for it, and definitely the founder for creating such an creative, such an collaborative space for us. And thank you for being supportive all the time of what I am today and what I am doing. I love being part of this team. I just want to say I'm very excited to keep growing, keep building, keep learning, and keep giving my best. So I'm really proud of being part of NMKR team, and thank you so much. I wish a very, very happy birthday once again, and thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Shreya Roy Chaudhary. I joined NMKR as a designer a few months back, and since then it's been a wonderful journey. I love working here because of the spirit of the open-mindedness, and everything else here works out really well for me. I couldn't have asked for a better team, to be honest, and I am also growing as a designer, and it's been lovely working here because the feedbacks are very useful for me. So as I would love to grow more with the company, I would love to see where NMKR goes, and yeah, it's been amazing working here with all the members in the company, and happy birthday.
Hey together, happy birthday NMKR. Yeah, where did my journey with NMKR begin? It was, I think, almost 2 years ago. The first time I met Patrick at a Cardano Summit event in Düsseldorf. And we were talking about an idea I had, because I was like, I'm just a developer and not a businessman, and I needed some help with marketing and everything. And yeah, we started a project called Rampy back then, but after a while I noticed it's nothing for me. and it's very complicated with Mika and all the regulations. It was a Fiat on and off ramp. Yeah, and after a while, I met Patrick a second time at the same event a year later, and yeah, then I told him like I'm very unsatisfied with my current job, and I'm looking for something new, but I'm unsure what I want to do because I want to go in Web3 and doing something with Cardano, but my knowledge base is more in Swift and Kotlin and mobile development, so it's not my wheelhouse. Yeah, I was looking around, and then suddenly Patrick messaged me, "Hey, don't you want to work for us?" And that was end of last year, I think November, December something. And after some considerations and back and forth and everything, I started working for NMKR about a month ago, 1st of March. And it was the best decision I made for a long time because I'm feeling productive again. I'm working on something I believe in. It's just an awesome journey so far, even if it's just 1 month. But I believe it's gonna be a few more months and hopefully a few more years. And I would like to stay with NMaker for the 10 years anniversary. Let's see if that's gonna happen.
Hey, I'm Franz, and I've been an intern here at NMaker for the past 2 months, and I've been working on AI agent development. And I have to say that it's been a wonderful learning experience for me. I've come here with little to no knowledge on AI agents, but as I've been working here and learning things, I've been able to develop my own agents, fully develop them, and fully deploy them onto the Masumi project. Everyone's been super helpful and super welcoming, even on my first day, and they've helped me to ease myself into a field that I was rather new to, and I really felt like I was already part of the team even just on my first day joining. So I have to say that it's been a wonderful journey, and I can't wait to continue that journey. And I really find it cool what they're doing, and I'm looking forward to how Masumi evolves in the future, and what places the project will go to. And I really do think it's cool that I'm part of that, and I can't wait to learn more things.
Okay, that's the last one. Yeah, very cute video. Very fun. I didn't see it before, so I was like, what do you call it? Like very emotional watching it. And I think it was really nice also that you all get to see a little bit more of behind the scenes, because I think NMaker has this like problem, or I don't know if it's a problem, but NMaker has this thing where everyone associates just me with NMaker, right? Me as Patrick, because I go to all the events and I'm very vocal on Twitter and so on. But the reality is NMaker is many more people than me, right? It's right now I think, let me check, we're like 17 people working at NMaker. So that's quite a lot. And most of them are in the background. I think a lot of you might know Phil, of course, because he's been here since day one, and he's been in the chats and in like Discord, and everyone who has a support question reaches Phil basically. And then Flo, who's also more active now with support. Some of you might know him. And then of course Christian, who's like our co-founder, of course, and also the one who does most of the like business development and business outreach, and he's running around in the like Web2 kind of world. So he and we like kind of split work a little bit. He's going to most of the Web2 work events and talks with like the large enterprises and stuff like that, while I focus more on the like Cardano community or the crypto community, and I go to like the crypto events. And because of that, sometimes a lot of people think, okay, NMaker is just one person, but it's really not true. And and I'm glad you got to see a few more of those amazing team members that we have, and I want to make sure that we highlight them a little bit more in the future from now on. And Yeah, and now I think it's time maybe to talk a little bit about the products, right? What we're doing with all the different things and where we are going. Let me share my screen. Okay, what do I share actually? Okay, I'll just share my whole screen. Okay. There's a mosquito here. I hope it doesn't bite me while I stream. Okay, so yeah, desktop, as you can see. So I want to talk about the few different products that we have and a little bit about the future of NMaker. And as I mentioned, I didn't prepare any slides or so. I didn't prepare much, but I'm just gonna drop some alpha. So let's start with NMaker, with NMaker Studio, our core product, right? That's what everyone knows us for. NMaker Studio is basically this like enterprise level minting tool that we built, right? So you can do a lot of things with NMaker Studio. You can also manage wallets and you can do vesting addresses, and we have smart contracts in there for like payments and so on. And there's a lot of things you can do, but the main core thing it does is it mints NFTs. Not only NFTs, also fungible tokens, but for simplicity's sake, we say NFTs. And NMaker Studio really, I think, is a proven product, right? It works really well and it can work really well under scale. It has been battle tested for a very long time and it has been getting better and better. We know it works. We've seen it work. You know, we minted, I think, like 2.5 or almost 3 million NFTs at this point with it. And we helped thousands of projects and thousands of businesses, which I'm very proud of. But the reality is the NFT market is very, very tricky right now. I mean, you all know it. The NFT market basically crashed hard, and you know, NFTs are not the same thing as they were before. I think it's coming back, but it's coming back in a very different way, right? And it's coming back way slower, first of all, but then also it's coming back with more focus on utility. Because at the end, NFTs are just technology, and it depends on what you can do with it. And I'm very bullish on NFTs that are being used for really serious use cases, such as Book.io. You know, my favorite always. Actually, you know, tokenizing ebooks, bringing back ownership to the people who buy those books instead of just renting them in a way from Kindle or Amazon, and then they can censor it or they can remove it. You never truly own it, right? So I think having this ownership over digital assets is still very important. And it doesn't matter if NFTs are hyped or not. This is just a fact. We shouldn't give up ownership over digital assets just because they are digital assets. We need to, you know, I think we need to push for that. And I hope that many people in the world think the same way. And that's why I'm bullish on NFTs, and that's why I'm excited for NFTs. And I think NFTs will make a huge comeback. So yeah, so basically, you know, our strategy for NMaker right now is very simple. We keep NMaker Studio as it is. We are obviously like changing the UI a little bit, making it all a little bit easier, but we're not changing a lot of massive things. The only thing that we'll be focusing on with NMaker Studio is we are going to add more chains. So as you can see here, you know, this is the alpha part. We have 4 chains here that we're working with right now. So number 1, obviously Cardano, but number 2, Solana, which we already integrated. It's live today. And then number 3 and 4, these are the new ones. I think Midnight, we soft announced kind of already, but the other one is Bitcoin, right? So we are working on integrating Cardano, Bitcoin minting next, and Midnight minting, and we have one more chain which is not on here. I'm just gonna name drop it now, and maybe someone is gonna screen cap it and then gonna share it later, but there's gonna be a large announcement for it. And that 5th chain that we'll be focusing on is Aptos, actually. So we've been working a lot with the Aptos Foundation, and we will be integrating Aptos. We're actually very far with integrating Aptos. So it will come likely directly after Bitcoin. So the goal is really just integrating more chains. And then, as you know, with NMaker, the idea is that you can launch a project on multiple chains at once, right? So you don't just launch it on Cardano, or you don't just launch it on Solana. You basically select multiple chains, and then your users choose where they want to receive the tokens, which is very unique. No other project actually is doing that. And I think it's very cool because as a project, you don't really have this like tribalism anymore, where you have to choose which chain you launch on before you launch the project, which I think in the past it was really stupid. Like as a project, you kind of have to decide, okay, which one of those markets do I go into, and which community do I expose myself to, which chain am I betting on. And it doesn't make sense as a project, because as a project, your like main goal is, okay, you want to create a community for your project. You don't want to get a subset of the community of one chain. That's just not how it should work, and that's not really how it works in the real world. If you have an amazing artist, like imagine a musician who says, okay, I'm basically gonna restrict myself to only the Ethereum community or only the Cardano community. It's not really how it works. So we're saying, okay, obviously we love Cardano. We think Cardano is the most decentralized chain out there, and Cardano is an amazing chain. But then other chains like Midnight or Solana offer different functionalities that make a lot of sense. Like Midnight, for example, with the privacy aspect is very interesting. Solana with the speed is very interesting. And then Bitcoin, of course, because it's, I would say, the most aligned with the Cardano ethos, like very decentralized, very robust, and also obviously the biggest chain, right? So we're very excited for that, for adding these chains, and we hope that many of you will try it out. And then we are I would say, as NMaker, we're in a good position to grow when the market picks up, basically. And that's my goal with NMaker. Okay, let me move a little bit here because it's getting uncomfortable sitting on the floor. I love Japan, but I don't know, the sitting on the floor part, I don't know about. Anyways, so let me move to the second product, right? Finest. So Finest, as you might know, is a joint venture that we started together with two other companies. One of them being IMX, which is this like KYC company, and the other one is Fluid Tokens, which is a lending protocol on Cardano. And we basically came together, I think, over a year ago, and we said, okay, we want to launch a real-world asset launchpad. We want to bring real-world assets to Cardano. And we decided to bundle our energies and do this. And we did pretty successfully, I would say, with two assets at this point. One of them being tokenized Granite, where we went to an actual mine in India and we helped them tokenize their Granite. And it was basically like a short-term financing way of dealing with it. And the other one is tokenized gold, right? And this is really actual tokenized gold that is stored in a vault in Germany. And oops, why didn't it work? I think my Wi-Fi is not that fast. Yeah, so this is actual tokenized gold in Germany. And if you buy a token, you buy 1 gram of gold, basically. So you can go on here and you can buy 1 gram of gold. And the cool thing is, we announced just recently, just this week actually, that you can also sell this gold back. And what happens in the background is that you basically sell it back to this like gold partner that we're working with, which is Pro Aurum. Here you can see it, Pro Aurum GmbH, which is actually the largest gold seller in all of Germany. So you can imagine they have billions of volume, right? So they're really, really big. They have more liquidity than any other tokenized gold in the world. And this is really cool because I think that gold is a pretty good alternative to stablecoins. Because we all know, as crypto lovers, we all know maybe the dollar and the euro and all that stuff is not the most secure way to have your money, especially with what's happening right now. Who knows how long the dollar will survive or the euro will survive. So, if you want to basically go out of crypto and you don't want to convert your money into USDC or USDM or anything dollar denominated, then you could basically just buy gold tokens, and then you can immediately move them from gold to stable coins again if you want to. And by doing that, you never leave the chain. You never have to go to an actual exchange, but you have it all on Cardano, which I think is really cool. And this is working really well. Then, oh my God, I'm talking too much. I'm running out of breath. Then, as you can see, or I hope you can see because you visited this website before, we have a little bit of a new design, which I think is it looks very nice. It's very clean. So we have a new design for this website, and we basically say, okay, we want to make it a little bit simpler, and we're gonna keep continuing to work on the website and make it even better from a user experience perspective. The third project, and the arguably most important project that we're working on. You've probably seen me just posting about Masumi at this point. And the reality is we're really focused right now on Masumi. I've shown you NMaker Studio, where the goal is to add more chains. I've shown you Finest, where the goal is to add more real-world assets. But we basically are really shifting right now most of the focus, I would say like 95% of the focus of the company, towards Masumi. And Masumi is a really interesting project. It started with Sebastian from Service Plan coming to us actually last year, coming to Zurich and pitching us this idea of Masumi, this idea of basically building this payment infrastructure for AI agents. And he held a whole like 2-hour something presentation, and we debated a lot. And he convinced me that this is what the world needs, and this is what we need to really enable this like agentic revolution even more than it's happening already. And since then, we started slowly, but we really went all into Masumi, and we are planning to go even more all into Masumi. And Masumi, just to summarize very quickly what it does, is basically it solves some like fundamental issues that we have with AI agents right now. So when I say fundamental issues, these 4 here on the right-hand side are the issues that I'm talking about. Number 1, how can agents monetize their efforts, and how can they even do financial transactions with other agents? Because that's the really interesting part. We're not talking about a world anymore where there's like one agent who does everything, one LLM who does everything. We are in a world right now where there's more like multi-agent systems. So you have an agent that does one specific task really well, and you have another agent which does another task, and then they work together to solve a more complex problem, right? So they are multi-agent systems. Now the question is, okay, how how can those multi-agent systems actually work across companies? How can a Booking.com agent work with a Lufthansa agent? How can they pay each other, right? How can they find each other? And finding each other is this part here. How can agents find other agents to collaborate with? How can they trust that this agent that they found, which is saying that it's from Lufthansa, is actually from Lufthansa? How do they verify the identity? And then in the end, also, how do they trust that the result is correct, right? So these all, if you look at it and if you think about it, these are all problems that we already solved through the blockchain, because we have figured out how to do transactions, right? We have stable coins, we have these amazing blockchains where you can send money from A to B in like seconds, and you can use smart contracts to do it in a trustless way and do it only after certain conditions are met. We also have, verification, because we have decentralized identities, and we have all this kind of stuff that's going on with DITs and SSI. And then, decision logging, also perfect for blockchain, because we have an immutable ledger where you can just put data on it and no one can ever erase the data. So you can just put the output of each agent on the chain, and you can create a trail of the output, at least the hashed version of the output. And if any agent like tampers with it or so, or something is incorrect, you will see it immediately, right? And then for discovery, the big fear that everyone is having right now is that there's going to be just one really large centralized marketplace where all the agents have to register, and then there's going to be the next Apple or something that can impose a 30% fee on it and can like censor agents and so on. It's just a lot of power to give away. So why not do it on the blockchain where everyone can register, every agent can register, and it's uncensorable, it's completely decentralized, and that's really what we're trying to do with. So we're solving those 4 issues with Masumi, which is this protocol that we're building. And and I'm extremely excited for it. Everyone who we're hiring right now is working on Masumi. The majority of the team is working on Masumi. Another like 30 or 40 people at Service Plan, our partner in this whole endeavor, are working at Masumi, and I think that we found something here which is actually going to change the world. And and that's what we're focused on, and we will be focused even more in the next I would say next 10 years, hopefully. So yeah, I think stay tuned for this. We have a lot of announcements coming. I think one thing that I can share right now with you is this link, because we are building an actual marketplace on top of Masumi, a marketplace for AI agents that you can basically, as an end user, visit, and you can hire the agents on there. And we're building that right now, and that's going to be, I think that, why am I saying I think? That's definitely going to be the first real end customer product that you can interact with. So I recommend you go to sokosumi.com. That's the name of the marketplace, and you sign up here with your email to get notified, and then and then you'll receive an email as soon as this live, and I think it's going to be worth it. So please do that. Okay, I spoke for a long time and I'm slowly running out of breath again, so let me go back here and let's stop sharing my screen for a second. Let's see if there's something in the chat. Yeah, a lot of people that are wishing us a happy birthday. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Really cool. It's already almost 4 a.m. and we have 500 people who tuned in. So thank you again a lot. And happy birthday, NMKR. I'm going to turn off the stream now because I need to get some sleep. And then I hope to see you all soon.